Hey Virgo, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading, general reading. Take what works, leave what doesn't. If I don't find your wavelength or storyline on this reading, check your other major placements. If I do, there will also be an extended. The directions or the link should be in the description box. And over on the extended this time, I thought I would, we're going to do a traditional spread over here, and then I'll lay over another spread on top of that one and then take them together and combined. It's been a little interesting, a little overwhelming at first, but I think I've got the hang of it now. So, all right, but for this one, let's go. I've already shuffled pretty well. I'm cutting the deck here. For the overall, for the reading, 8 of Emotions. Having been in a desert, in an inhospitable place, maybe not inhospitable, but it just doesn't have what you need to thrive there. So you are seeing that and able to move forward. It's such an interesting card the way it's depicted, because the way it's depicted is like there's a darkness that comes in that helps you to see where you're at. Like it dims something a little bit so you can see where you're at isn't satisfying for you. And there's a clear sense, though, this person has a clear sense of direction. They're not just sitting down and going, well, nothing I want is here. They see maybe a possibility for something off in the distance. So they're heading in that direction. They are traveling out of this difficult, inhospitable land where they're not getting their needs met, where they're not, they don't feel alive. There's no space for them. Maybe other creatures can live out here, but not Virgo. It's just been a bit of a barren landscape, and you're moving out of that. And there is some kind of darkness comes in to kind of show you that this isn't the place for you. That could be, a wide variety of things. So past, present, inner landscape, what's at issue, environment, to-do list, possible outcome. Man, one of these cards has been around to all of you, everybody. We're all kind of having a collective experience. It affects us all differently, but we're all here together in the same time, in the same time, all on this one planet at the same time. So these themes pull through our lives. In your recent past, we have Knight of Inspiration. Some fast moving, possibly reckless, explosive energy coming through here. The Knight of Inspiration is our fastest moving energy in the deck. Chariot. It's a little bit like Chariot. Oh, we have a couple knights here. That's exciting. Oh my gosh, we have 4 people showing up. We have the Knight of Inspiration, and then under that we have the Knight of Materials. So these are the opposing forces. So the Knight of Inspiration could be a person. They move fast, they move quickly, they're very inspired. They participate in life with a bang and an explosive nature. They might be very temperamental. They might be a little bit terrifying in how fast they move through things. This could be a person, this could be an energy, this could be you, how you've moved through things in the past. It's more like either that or it's a part of yourself that does want to move fast, move quick. But this could be someone you've already dealt with. There's a little bit of instability and a lot of quick action, quick moving, loves to move quickly when they get the inspiration, except for sometimes they forget a few key items or don't cross their I's or dot their T's or really research the situation completely. They shoot from the hip and sometimes ask the important questions later, and oopsie. So this is our least cautious card in the deck. It kind of charges forward, charges into things. And then your current situation, where you're at right now, is 8 of Voices. This is self-limiting or limitations, where you're telling yourself that you aren't enough, that you can't do something, that something's never going to work. This is the crappy mantra, the crappy mantras that we all have. This is why it's good mantra work is to find yourself some better mantras that you actually want in your head versus these crappy ones, which are about, I can't do something. And every time you tell yourself you can't do something, you actually create it more so that you can't do something. This can also be like wanting to be rescued, wanting to be saved, not understanding that you are literally the most powerful person in your life. Nobody has more power in this situation than you do, but you may be looking for help, looking outwardly for help and assistance when the help and assistance must come from within. You may be looking for a sign when you already know what you need to do. You may be saying you want something but not moving towards it because you don't feel like you have that permission or that personal power to move towards something that you want. There's a sense of powerlessness in your own life, and there is, with this particular card, a sense that you're the one that's creating your own powerlessness. There's a sense of being at cross purposes, I guess, about the flow being one direction and it's like you're trying to stop the flow of something. Something wants to flow, but you have this perception that's limiting it, limiting the energy, and maybe limiting yourself. You're tied down, but the river wants to flow. You're the canoe tied onto the banks. And, you're like, the current's coming or the river's flowing and it's kind of situated and you can see that canoe could really go down, but the canoe has to untie itself though, if it wants to go for this ride. In your inner landscape, we have 6 of inspiration. This is our 6 of wands. This is wanting to be successful and wanting praise, wanting success and praise. A public success, wanting to be viewed as successful, wanting to be viewed as praiseworthy. This is also your success is your community's success. But this one really does have sort of the chorus, wanting to be the star, and this is your inner landscape. This is something you're thinking about. Wanting to be the successful star with a backup chorus, with a backup choir, with your backup singers all here sort of supporting you. Maybe you're looking for community support. You want community support, but in fact, all the support you need is right here. That's not, that's true all the time. And yet there are also certain circumstances where that feels more true than other circumstances. So you're not really supporting yourself. You're not cheerleading yourself. You're kind of wanting somebody else to come in and tell you what to do, or someone else to support you, or someone else to cheer you on. You're needing that. You feel like you need that right now. Someone else some sort of sign, some sort of support from your community to cheer you on, because your inner monologue is a little bit crappy. So it would be really nice if other people sort of donated their monologues to your cause. I don't know why I'm feeling a little sassy about this card. It's because it comes after the 8 of voices, the 6 of inspiration, is like you're doubting yourself. Like you want other people to believe in you, but you don't even believe in yourself. So how's that going to work? It does. Anything's possible, but it's a lot better if you're more confident in your own self, confident in your abilities, not just confident, but courageous, right? This Knight of Inspiration is like hella courageous. He just is a little rash sometimes too. It's like the Knight of ADHD, and a bit like there's some costs and benefits and they're all kind of mishmashed here, but we've got the other one down here. So there's like this fast moving energy, but you don't want to go with it because you don't think you can, you don't think you're up for it. But you want encouragement. You're like, send me a sign. I need some encouragement here. You want encouragement and support from your community, which isn't wrong. Our survival is based in community. We're community creatures. We need each other. Our needs are complex enough that we need a group where there's specialization, and so needing that approval from our group does feel like survival, right? And even though now we don't need the approval or disapproval of our groups to survive, of our culture to survive, of our team to survive, we don't necessarily need that to survive anymore, but we still have that mechanism inside of us that associates that being seen and praised or being shamed and humiliated, as life and death situations, which they were at some point in our history. So we still have that, and it's not wrong to need that. It's very human. It's very appropriate. But you're looking for some sort of praise or success here. What's our issue here? We have the Muse of Voices. This is going to be our King of Swords. So leadership and thought. There's some kind of, this could be a person. That's an issue. And these ones don't come in reverse. They won't allow a reversal. So we're just going to have to take it as is. But this is someone who can typically keep a very balanced perspective. There's an honesty and a clarity, right? This path is like really clear. There's not a lot of choices or decisions. It's just there's something very obvious about this. And I typically see the Muse of Voices as being very rational, very logical. But we have these dancers here. But we do have a lot of linear thinking. And almost this like dancing with the linear thinking, playing with logic. We have someone here who plays and dances with logic, who uses science for their benefit. And they're a leader here. And since it doesn't come in this reverse, and that's just this person, we have no like real sense of a judgment of it. It's someone who takes action though. Right, it's the muse, it's the king, it's the, I don't want to say masculine, but it's the penetrative energy. It's the energy that makes stuff happen. So leadership and initiative and creative logic. And maybe some science and some spreadsheets thrown in there too. In your environment, we have a person here, a Knight of Materials. So the Knight of Materials doesn't move at all. This is somebody that, so this is what I was amused by at the beginning, is here we have this fast-moving, rash energy, a little bit intense and erratic seeming at times, this person. And then we have this person down here who's the exact polar opposite of that, who is this Knight of Materials, slow moving, thinks of every detail, every plan, plots every footstep, wants to envision and see how the situation unfolds before they commit to an action or a behavior. They sit back and wait typically. So I love how we have these two opposites here, right? We have this explosive growth, and then we have this extremely slow growing succulent that the pattern's the same. This one just moves quickly and this one just moves very slowly. So this is your environment. It could be just a slow moving environment, or it could be someone in your environment who's very slow moving, very methodical, does not want to do this action. They're not interested. Maybe they used to be like that. Maybe it's someone who's changed, who used to be very rash and a little bit unstable. Now they're like ridiculously stable and slow moving and need to have a plan. Or it could be just two different people. Like you're used to working with this person and now you've got like a new coworker or a new boss, and they have a very different way of approaching problems, approaching issues, approaching things. Approaching problems and equations, and they're much more slow. I mean, they might be like slow to get back to you, slower correspondence, more careful correspondence, because knights are messengers. So there might have been a rash, impulsive message sent before, and now someone is like, whoa, okay, let's actually think about all of our messages. This actually reminds me of me texting. Sometimes I'm like, Oh, wow, everything's misspelled and I shouldn't have said that. And then sometimes I'm like, text, delete, you know what? I'll just get back to them tomorrow. So this is the two energies we're dealing with here. Someone who's like, hauls off and sends messages without really thinking through the whole thing, and they're all misspelled, and maybe some weird things are said, and not quite sure how to take them. And then this is someone who's being much more careful, much more studied and cautious, and moving very cautiously. So the Knight of Materials, moving very cautiously. And this also might have been an inspiring message that came in, and now we're dealing with more methodical realities of like, how does it in reality move forward? Your to-do list is justice. Make a situation fair. You may not feel like you have the power to make a situation fair, but this here is about that. It's telling you do. You can make a situation much more fair. This card also talks about several ways to go about doing something. And it talks about, oh, wow, we've got a lot of math and equations here too. It talks about some sort of calculation on how to go about doing something, and to not create, I want to call it karma, right? We have these kind of weird ideas of what karma is, but it has to do with integrity. It has to do with inner values and allowing your inner values to emerge. So as you're weighing your options, making sure integrity plays a huge role in how you get to where you're going. Both paths lead to the same way. Like the justice, the outcome's the same, or you're going to get the same outcome, but one path leads to a karmic debt load, and the other path is free and clear. So one may look easier, simpler, but we're really thinking about integrity here, and making sure that calculates in our actions and our decisions. The balance of the forces of the universe. If something's been imbalanced, this is that you need to bring that back into balance. I mean, if this Muse of Voices were in reverse, we would definitely be getting sort of an out of balance leadership that's out of balance, overly rational thought, right? Oh, I like it. We're talking about balance here, and we have this path, this quick, inspired path, and then we have this slow, almost no movement path. And we're talking about maybe both paths get us to the same way, but one has more integrity than the other. I'm not here to say which, because sometimes that slow moving path, we have this idea that slow and steady wins the race, and sometimes it does, and sometimes it really doesn't. So we're talking about different, balancing out maybe something, bringing balance and fairness to a situation, making it fair. And you may have a lot of doubts about whether you can do this, whether you can make this fair. And remember, the whole overall for the reading is heading towards someplace that's more sustainable for us, that fits us better, that suits us better. So yeah, bringing some fairness into something, making something right, and calculating how to do that in the best way, but maintaining your integrity, right? We also have another card in the deck that we could have gotten, which is, making difficult choices, but you don't necessarily have to pay that much attention to, I mean, you always need to be paying enough attention to your integrity, but that one's more about like, no good choices, pick the best, make your best guess. And there's not gonna, all decisions have bad ramifications, or have unpleasant side effects. This one is about making a choice and a decision about how you want to deal with a situation to make it right. And the ends and the means both have to be on the up and up here, is what that is. If you're making something right, the path there has to be the right path as well, the path of clearer morality, I guess. It does have a morality to it. Ethics, integrity. And then where you're going, possible outcome. We have a Queen of Inspiration here. We have a person. This could be you. This could be somebody else. But they're very in touch with their own intuition, a very intuitive person, a very possibly spiritual or creative person. And we have emusive voices, which can be a little bit harsh. The leadership energy might be a little harsh. So that's more of a leadership action-oriented energy. And here we have this Queen of Inspiration, a more private reception-oriented energy, receiving intuition, maintaining that intuition, protecting that intuition, maintaining a connection with the universal energies and the flow of energy. So it could be someone that you're headed towards and you need to like come correct or come right towards them. You can't have a bunch of garbage you're keeping secret or a bunch of like other issues going on the sideline. You need to come in with integrity if you're going to meet up with this person, male or female, right? The Queen energy is very internal, more receptive energy. It's more private energy. Usually people like to follow the Queen of Inspiration, but not because she's asking them to, but just because she's just so in her own vibe that it creates its own homing mechanism and its own light. So this is just a very spiritually connected person, maybe a bit untamable, in their own vibe for sure. Here we have the eyes closed as in justice being blind, and there's a sense of purity, not based on how somebody looks or how something seems on the outside, but really feeling your way through in integrity into some place of fairness. And then here we have again the eyes closed, because the looks of the thing, even with art, doesn't matter. It's the energy that flows through. It's the energetic connection. So, all right, Virgo, if that was helpful for you, you're welcome to join me on Vimeo. Otherwise, but even if it was helpful for you, you can still just stop here. That's fine. And I'll see you guys in a couple weeks.